Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share my faith story and reflect on my time at New Church. I come from generations of believers. I grew up in the Independent Methodist Episcopal Church in San Angelo, Texas. There, I witnessed my grandmother's faith and her prayers and regular church attendance. My grandmother told me stories not only of how God moved in her life during times of suffering, but also how her grandparents and parents trusted God. Although my father seldom attended church, my mother was adamant that my four siblings and I attend church with her. It was there that I learned to worship God and serve others. Attending church was fun when I was young. I enjoyed gospel concerts, Easter and Christmas plays, Tom Thumb weddings, ice cream socials, retreats, and youth conferences. My faith was active outside of the church also. I have fond memories of when I became a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes. As an at FCA summer camp, I heard the testimonies of Tom Landry and Olympic gold medalist Madeline Manning Mims. After hearing how God used Madeline, God spoke to my heart, letting me know that she could use me to help others. That summer at FCA camp, God's love for me was affirmed even more, and I began to intentionally share that love with others. During college, I continued to go to church sporadically, but often chose to do things my own way, which led me down some bumpy roads. I went through a period when church seemed labored and discouraging. Still, there was always a tug on my heart to help others find a place where they would feel comfortable landing when they arrived, broken and in need of hope and healing. I worked with groups that provided support services such as faith-based health and wellness programs, foster care, disability, and recovery services. In part because I needed hope and healing myself, and when I found it, I wanted others to have what I had found. Eventually, I found my way to a progressive African American congregation of the United Church of Christ in San Diego, California, where a sense of belonging for me at God's table was affirmed. At Christian Fellowship Congregational Church of San Diego, I served on the committee that guided the church through the process of becoming the first African American congregation in our region to officially become accessible to all and open and affirming in the Southern California Nevada Conference of the United Church of Christ. I participated regularly in Wednesday night Bible study and was elected to the board of Deacon and Evangelism, where I served as board secretary, vice chair, and as member at large on the church council. In 2017, I began to discern a call to authorize ministry as a member in discernment in the United Church of Christ. In 2018, I relocated from San Diego to Fort Worth to become a Master of Divinity student at Bright. During my first year of seminary at Bright, the Reverend Dr. Joe Hudson was my professor for my Christian worship class. Dr. Joe invited me to have a conversation about being a student pastor at New Church for my supervised ministry year. Serving as a student pastor at New Church this past academic year was a wonderful experience and also a meaningful and productive opportunity to journey in faith with so many great people at New Church. I keep coming back to New Church even during COVID-19 because I feel connected to this faith community and in many ways, and most recently because of the racial justice collaborative efforts we are collectively taking part in. Even though I have transitioned to serve as a assistant minister in another faith community, New Church will always be near and dear to my heart for the ways in which this faith community has ongoing embraced me as a faith family member.